Hey everyone, how you doing today? This is Jim from the Pain PT, and today we're going to talk about being an emotional detective, becoming an emotional detective. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Again, it helps the channel to continue to grow, spread the word about how our emotions are really influencing our lives in many ways, especially our physical health. It's not very known or spoken about or accepted or even looked at in modern medicine, but I'm trying to shed more light in this based on the work of Dr. Sarno, the late Dr. Sarno, and other people now who are promoting the role and influence of emotions on our physical, mental, and emotional health. So, becoming an emotional detective, what does this mean? Well, it means looking for emotions in your life, looking for emotions in yourself in different ways to see how they manifest and come out. And one of the things I talk about a lot is how emotions manifest physically in the body. They have a physical component to it. So all emotions have a physical component in the body. That's the feeling sense, how it makes you feel. I feel. So when we say that, I feel sad or I feel angry or I feel shame, we're actually saying, I feel this somewhere in the body. So to be able to connect to the felt sense of the emotion is really important as being this emotional detective. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky because people who are having these somatic symptoms, chronic somatic symptoms, many times are just having emotions coming out through these symptoms, and they're not able to see that. Again, that's called alexithymia. It's a term where we have difficulty identifying our emotions, expressing, acknowledging our feelings, and we misconstrue the physical symptoms as something physical when they're really just emotions coming. So we're trying to make a connection emotionally to your symptoms and what's driving the physical feelings or physical symptoms in your body as emotions. So being a detective and looking for that is really, really important to make that connection in your lives day to day, and also back to when your symptoms began, and even further back looking into childhood to see if there are other times or the periods of your life where you had high somatic symptoms or somatic symptoms, and you also had associated emotion or stress during that time. So being this emotional detective, we're going to look for the emotions and the symptoms. Okay, it's a big one because that's what we're talking about here. But we're also going to look for emotion underlying a couple other things. Another area would be your thoughts, your cognitions, your beliefs, okay, and your thinking, because your thinking is infused by emotion as well. So we want to get underneath your thinking into your feeling and see what's driving these types of thoughts. What kind of thoughts am I having right now? What are they representing emotionally? Okay. Again, if you need help in these areas, this is what I do with people, working with them at a more of an emotion focused therapy, one-to-one, or in a group work as well. We're looking to identify this. Again, the emotions are hidden many times. They're hidden underneath or infused in the things I'm talking about here. So your cognitions, your beliefs, your thinking is infused by emotion. We want to get underneath that and see what that is. Other areas where your emotion can be sneaking out, maybe not you're not aware of, and you want to be detective for it, is your actions and your behaviors. Okay, the way you act and engage or disengage with life. Okay, how you're approaching or maybe not approaching things in life. Okay, so your behaviors and your actions can also demonstrate what the underlying emotion is at play here. So we want to look at that as well to see what's working in you, what emotions are coming up, how are they operating? Are they, in a sense, controlling you? Do these emotions have a lot of control over you? Do they hijack you? Do they dictate your actions? Do they control your mind and your thinking? Are they dominating with your symptoms and they're controlling you in that way as well? So being an emotional detective is basically the same thing as saying emotional awareness, which is the first step to seeing and understanding how this process works in you, getting more clarity about the connection between emotions and the things I'm talking about here. So let's become an emotional detective, everybody. Let's really look for emotion. It's not something that we typically do automatically. So it's an intentional, volitional step we want to do on a daily basis. And the more you can make a real connection and see this happening in real time, it's very helpful because it gives us evidence now to show the role and the influence of emotion on physical symptoms and also on thinking and thoughts and cognitions and behaviors. So look for your emotions, everybody. Let me go over a couple other areas too you can look for as a detective. Real present life triggers and stressors. So if you have things happening in the moment that set you off into some spiral of thinking or set you off into some elevated symptoms or some type of actions, behaviors, let's see what's going on. Who are you with? Where are you at? What are you doing in those moments that trigger that? What emotions coming up in yourself? Okay, so you can look for it in present life. You can also explore emotions in the past, which we historically look at as journaling and expressive writing, to write down our emotions and our feelings in relation to what happened to us. And that expression of emotion helps to release emotion, helps us to calm down. So we can look for emotion again in the present, in the past, even in going to the future, we can look at emotion there and what we think about the future. So let's become an emotional detective, everybody. It's really valuable, really helpful. A lot of people who struggle with somatic symptoms, chronic somatic symptoms, have emotion difficulties. They have difficulties with emotions. So that's why we're going to focus on this area. And many times, again, these emotions are hidden. They're not direct. You're not connecting to them directly and easily. They're coming out through the ways I mentioned here, these different pathways. Okay, if you got questions, you want help in this area, this is an area that I really focus on people with the emotion-focused work. Reach out for a one-to-one consultation, or you can join my weekly groups. You can go to thepainpt.com to sign up for either of those two. Again, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Helps the channel to grow. I'll continue to put out content for you guys. Okay, take care. We'll talk to you next time.